Hi everyone, thanks for watching today's lesson in our writing program. Now today is Wednesday, so we're going to be working on lesson 3 and we're going to be doing some more work about informative writing. Let's start by looking at our learning intention and success criteria. We are learning to write a classification about an animal and gather information. So a classification, as we said yesterday, is when we put animals into different groups, and if we're writing about a certain animal, we will classify it. So that means we talk about what kind of animal it is, and we might write about what kind of animal it is. And we're also going to gather information. So we're going to try and gather some other interesting information about an animal as well. Our success criteria. I can classify whether an animal is a fish, reptile, bird, amphibian, or mammal. Now, those are all the groups of animals that we spoke about in yesterday's lesson. I can gather information about an animal's appearance, habitat, and diet, as well as an interesting fact. And we'll have a look at all those things a little bit later in our lesson. So when we write a classification, we are answering the question, what type of animal is it? Is it a mammal? Is it a reptile? Is it an amphibian or a bird or a fish? It is just going to be a short sentence that explains what type of animal it is. When we write information about something, this is called writing information reports. So we're writing an information report about a certain animal. So here at the top, you can see we've got the question, what type of animal is it? Remember, that's our classification, and the classification always goes at the beginning of your information report. Now, the next question is, what does it look like? Now, that is when we think about the appearance of the animal. So the appearance explains what it looks like. The next question says, where does it live? So when we think about where an animal lives, we're thinking about its habitat. So the word is habitat. Where does it live? And the next one is, what does it eat? When we think about what an animal eats, we're thinking about its diet. An animal's diet is what it eats. And the last one is, what are other interesting facts? So you might know something already that is interesting about an animal, or you might need to do some research, check a book or check the internet to find some interesting facts about an animal. So to try and have a go at answering all those questions today, we're going to use the example of elephants. So let's do the first one. Let's classify the elephant first. Here's our classification for elephants. Elephants are mammals. Remember, we spoke about those different groups of animals yesterday. We said that an elephant is a mammal. Well, that's what we're putting in our classification sentence today. Elephants are mammals. Next one, we're looking at our appearance now. So we're thinking about what the elephant looks like. Let's read the sentence. Elephants have a long trunk and large ears. A long trunk and large ears. A simple sentence that describes the elephant's appearance, what it looks like. Next one needs to be about an elephant's habitat, where it lives, remember? Elephants live in grasslands and deserts. So I did a little bit of research about elephants on the internet, and I found that they live in grassy areas and in dry deserts where there's lots of sand as well. Next one is their diet. Elephants eat plants. So elephants are plant eaters, I found out in my research. So I wrote a sentence saying elephants eat plants. And the last one needs to be my interesting fact. And the interesting fact is that elephants are the largest land animals in the world. So they are the largest land animals that live on the land. Now it's your turn to gather and write some information yourself. So today you're going to pick an animal. You're going to write a classification about it. You're going to write a short sentence about its appearance, what it looks like, a short sentence about its diet, what it eats, a short sentence about its habitat, where it lives, and another short sentence with an interesting fact about your animal. And you're going to use a sheet that looks something like this, but you won't need to print this sheet exactly how it is. You can just use a plain piece of paper or a workbook that you've got at home to write these bits of information in. I'll just show you an example of what I did when I was gathering my information for my elephant information report. So at the top here, you can see I've just written the heading, gathering information, and I've got my other headings as well. So I've got a classification heading, I've got appearance, diet, habitat, and interesting facts. And then next to each heading, I have written the information that I found. So for my classification, I wrote elephants are mammals. For the appearance, I wrote elephants have a long trunk and large ears. For the diet, I wrote elephants eat plants. Then for the habitat, I wrote elephants live in grasslands and deserts. And finally, for my interesting fact, I wrote elephants are the largest land animals in the world. So you can see on my sheet that I have put my heading at the top and my classification at the top, but then I split my page with lines into 4 parts to put my other bits of information. But if it's easier for you in your workbook or your paper or wherever you're working, you can just put the bits of information underneath each other. That's fine as well, as long as you've got the classification first, because the classification is always the first thing we write about in our information reports. Now here I've just made the gathering information sheet a bit bigger for you. So if you like, you can pause or stop the video and you can have a look at this sheet to help you put your information on your piece of paper or in your book. So have a go now at trying this on your own. Now, it might be a little bit tricky to split your page up or write down your information by yourself. And for some of these bits of information, you might need to use Google to search for the information, or you might have a book about animals at home that might have some information in it. So you might need to talk to someone at home, like a parent or a brother or sister, about where the best place is where you can find this information. If everyone's using all your computers, then maybe you might need to leave this activity for a bit later when there is a computer free, or you might have to use a book instead that you have at home. So I'll give you a moment now to talk to someone in your house about your information and how you're going to search for it and write it down. And you can pause the video now to have some time to do your activity. When you're done, come back to the video and we'll finish off our lesson. Good luck. Welcome back, everybody. I hope you had fun gathering your information about your chosen animal and writing it down. Now remember, you can take a photo of your work and put it into your week 5 completed work folder on the Google Classroom. Or if it's easier for you and your family, you can get a family member to help you type the information into your week 5 completed work doc, whatever is easiest for you and your family. Miss Coote and I can't wait to see the information that you collected today about your animals. Now, before we finish up today, let's check our learning intention and success criteria. We are learning to write a classification about an animal and gather information. I can classify whether an animal is a fish, reptile, bird, amphibian, or mammal. So that was in our classification sentence at the top of our gathering information worksheet. Our classification, that's where we had to write about what type of animal it was. And hopefully you did that. And the last point is, I can gather information about an animal's appearance, habitat, and diet, as well as an interesting fact. So hopefully today you also got a chance to collect some information about your animal, what it looks like, where it lives, what it eats, and also an interesting fact about your animal. Great work today, everybody. I hope you enjoyed that lesson, and I can't wait to see you again tomorrow. Bye.